How is it that one of the most critically acclaimed manga of all time is currently receiving a near flawless anime adaptation of its 5th season, and yet I haven't heard anyone talk about it, which is a real shame because this is a series which is personally within my top 3 favorite anime. So if you're curious to know why I speak so highly about this series, and are interested in hearing me rant about a story which has developed into something that is simultaneously one of the best-selling manga of all time and yet one of the most underrated anime I've ever seen, bear with me as I introduce to you a story known as Kingdom. But first, a little background. Kingdom's manga is written and illustrated by Yasui Sahara, and has been in serialization within Shueisha's weekly Young Jump Seinen magazine ever since January of 2006. Unfortunately, the series almost didn't last, since early on it was negatively received in reader surveys, but it was eventually able to take off into one of the best-selling manga of all time after Hara made a few adjustments to his style based off of some advice which he received from his mentor Takahiko Inoue. That being said, Hara's story would go on to provide a fictionalized account of the Warring States period within China, primarily through the experiences of a war orphan named Shin, as he fights to become the greatest general under the heavens, and in doing so unifying China for the first time in over 500 years. And due to the story's slow but steady growth, in 2012 Hara achieved a dream that many mangaka share, since 6 years after his story's initial publication, his manga was set to be adapted into an anime. However, somehow this dumpster fire of genuinely jarring CGI is what we got for its first season, and as a result, most people, myself included, wrote this story off due to its animation. And because of how bad everyone's initial impression is to the series, most people unfortunately aren't able to make it through the anime's first season, and be made aware of the fact that the animation, not to mention the plot, becomes nearly flawless for what it's trying to portray by the anime's 3rd, 4th, and currently airing 5th season, as the anime actually begins to convey a fraction of the intensity and artistry that Hara puts into each and every one of his manga panels. Having said that, if you have sat through all of the anime or read any of the manga, I don't think there are many people who would argue with me on just how great this series truly is. And if you haven't, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just know that this was a series which, at least for me, immediately jumped into my top 10 favorite stories in all of fiction as soon as I finished watching its 3rd season. So do with that information what you will, but don't forget to follow if you enjoyed this video, and as always, it's been Otaku Haven, and until next time, signing out.